Welcome to the Murrumbooee Cascades as well as Shelley's savings on this wonderful bushwalk. We did this bushwalk back in summer and it actually included free trails. The first one will go off and see the Burra Nulla Cascades. It's quite close to the start of this track, so even if you don't want to do the whole walk from Mulligan's hut, I do recommend going down and checking out these gorgeous cascades. Once you've seen these first cascades, you can get back onto the original walk, which we then followed until we reached the Forest Walk junction. As you can see, it starts off with this very light bushland, which has been affected by the fires as well. It's amazing how far the fires got up into this area a couple of years back. It then quickly changes into a beautiful tempered rainforest, which was absolutely beautiful with lots of ferns and that around. As you can see, the tracks were quite wet and there was a little bit of rain before we did this walk. However, this walk does tend to stay very moist. We then reached the junction for the forest walk. This is a little off trail which you'll take. You will notice there is a sign up saying that the track is partly closed, and that's to go all the way down to the waterfalls, which sadly we had to miss. However, you can get to Lyrebird Rock, which is where we want to go and check out. Along the way though, you will see another spur trail that cuts off onto your right called the Junction Spur Trail. It's actually now an unofficial track, and only experienced bushwalkers are recommended to go down there with maps, equipment and food, as it isn't upkeeped anymore. We did come across this section which was covered in trees with the sign saying closure. Lyrebird Rock was only maybe 50 metres on the other side of this. It was an absolutely beautiful view and a gorgeous rock formation, and I definitely recommend coming off the Cascades walk to go and see this, as it's not much further to your hike. We found that this track actually started off quite wide, and it is obvious that national parks do go down with four-wheel drives, but as you go towards the end it will get thinner and thinner. There were some gorgeous logs to look at that have fallen down, as well as lots of other things that you could look at along the way. I recommend taking your time as you walk along this track, as it's absolutely beautiful what you can see. As you can see, we actually took our 6-year-old along, so it is an easy trail that you can bring the whole family along for. All up, we recorded 9.3 kilometres on our whole entire hike from start to finish, and that included our detours to look at Lyrebird Rock and the Burra Nulla Cascades. There is a bit of a steep downhill to the very end, but there is heaps to look at, as my son could find, and the track does get more narrow as you get to the bottom. Once you get to the bottom, you're greeted with this beautiful old wooden sign to tell you that you've reached your destination. This made an absolutely beautiful backdrop for us to sit down and eat our lunch and enjoy some time. It's also a good spot to go swimming if you want to bring a towel and it's on a hot day. And if you explore a bit more up the cascade, you'll actually discover the weir that Mulligan had actually designed, as well as the one that you see at the campsite. Once you've had a beautiful lunch and maybe a swim, it's time to walk back. I'm normally more partial to loop tracks, but I enjoyed coming back on this track as it gave me time to recheck out places that I may have missed on the way in. This creek was absolutely beautiful and running gorgeously through there. We also came across this little beautiful frog, as well as some ponds full of frog eggs. There is heaps of fungi to look on this walk as well, so if you're really into that, I definitely recommend checking out the Murrumbooee Cascades for the most beautiful fungi around. Before you know it, you're back at the campsite and you're all finished and ready to take a lovely dip in the creek out the campsite. Well, thank you for watching another Shelley Savings video. Why not subscribe and like this video and stay tuned for my next one. Thank you.